Hello, this week we are going to be talking about electric guitars. And what I've seemed to notice with at least this video sample of the week, I seem to pick one and go, "Ooh, I like this. This is what we're going to be talking about." And then I get into it and I start looking at other electric guitars and I go, "Ooh, I like this one. I like this one." And I'm like a kid in a sweet shop and go, "Ooh, I don't know which one to choose." And so we end up with a selection, which is great because different sounds, different compositions. It gives you a variety to choose from. And so the one I pick might not be the one you actually like. We are going to be talking about mainly the free ones. I've put two paid ones on as well, with the simple reason of comparison to see, well, is paid really better than free? A lot of my videos already talk about utilize the free stuff that's out there, especially in this day and age. And there's so much good stuff out there, and it's filtering out all the rubbish. And I like comparing it with the paid stuff, so you can go ahead and say, "Oh, actually, that free stuff is almost as good, if not better, than the stuff I would go out and normally pay for." And that's why I'm putting it there. I'm not, shoving it in your face to go, "Hey, go out and buy this." I'm doing it so you can see, is it really worth it? In some cases, it is. I do walkthroughs of some of the more expensive libraries, solo strings, percussion, etc., etc. And those are great. They have their place, especially if you're starting out and you're looking for some freebies. Anyway, let's stop ranting. This is a sample of the week. Let's get talking about what we've got today. So we've got a couple of different things from our main classic areas. We don't really have anything off of Sign Player at the moment, actually, for electric guitar. But we do have something off of Labs, and the Labs one is rather interesting, actually. There's a lot of selection. It's just the electric guitar, uh, free from Labs, Spitfire Audio stuff. And when you actually look at it, there's a lot to it. There's these leads, pads, plucks, indie, and there's these rhythmic sections as well for the different styles. It's quite interesting, actually. We'll get into that one when that happens. We have one off Piano Book, RJS Guitar. Just type that in. I'm sure you'll find it. This is quite nice, actually. It's I don't want to be punny, but it's decent. Actually, when we look at what we actually get in it, there's a couple things. There's new strings, old strings, palm mutes, softly, and then palm muted. So you got a nice wide selection of articulations. This is more of your hardcore. Here's your guitar. Here's the different bits. While the Labs one is a bit more freaky. Um, then I've got to put in Logic's own. You actually have quite a selection if you actually look at the guitars. You've got the classic clean, which is what think best fits the sound we're going for. But they do have some rocky ones as well, and I think we'll stick it in to compare. And then in on our paid, we've got the vintage electric guitar. I think it's, if you want to buy it as a single instrument, it's like 20 euros. Lots of articulations here. It comes with the LA sessions, sustains, no vibrato, sustains vibrato, yada yada yada. Round robins, four different mic positions. I'm gonna put this out here immediately and say I'm not the biggest fan of this one. It's I one thing I want from this, I want more, what's the word? Size. It lacks size. It lacks presence. Um, but I don't know, you could probably tweak it, but I want something out of the box that I like. And then finally, one from Spitfire Audio, and this one actually surprised me. I got this a long time ago, and I didn't think I'd use it as much as I do. It's from the ambient guitar library, and it's one of their distorted ones. It's my go-to. If we just flick over here so you can actually see, and it's my go-to Dan Electro Hornet, and there's lots of bits and bobs, couple different mic positions. It's a fun one. I've used this in a lot of tracks. I get a lot of American country sort of vibes from this guitar, but it's a fun one to play with. That one comes with a packet. I think it's like £200. I want to say. I'm just balling it out there. It's not a singular. Comes with a lot of other things, but as I said, using it as a comparison, let's stop battering on and actually jump in immediately with our decent sampler one. This is more of a out of the box guitar, and this is free. You can get it on Piano Book. I'll leave links in the description to all of these instruments so you can go and get them for yourselves. You can also use this one in Contact 6, the paid version, which is why I'm using it in Decent Sampler, because it's free. Everything's free behind this. So without further ado, I think we're just going to start with new strings and have a little play. So let's see what we can make of this. So instantly, I wish I could control the attack, decay, and release. I would definitely shove on a bit more release than I'm getting. I'm using the pedal to sustain it, because it really does come off quite sharp. I really like there is multiple layers there. You have that nice forte and that pianissimo as well. Not quite as I'd like it. I think there's some round robins in there as well. It's quite nice. It's your bog standard out of the box. I wish there was more to mess with it, but this is only one patch, so that's the new strings. Let's listen to the old strings. Ooh, this is more like it. Like the vibrato on it. We're getting some clicks right at the bottom. I think I prefer the old strings to the new strings, that's for sure. Same kind of problem I would say with the I wish for a bit more release, something I can not have to put my foot on the pedal for. But overall, that is gorgeous. Let me have a look at the next one. Muted soft. I get a bit clicky. I need just because it's a mute. If I'm doing, you really are going to have to be careful with your MIDI. That's the sound you're going for. A lot sharper on the mutes here. You've got your muted sounds, you've got your longs. You could add a reverb. Let's add a reverb for kicks and giggles and see what happens. Space Designer, we'll just stick the bog standard one on. Set that. Put some old strings back on. That was my favorite. Stick a little bit of reverb on there. You could see how much reverb transforms a sound. And that's free within Logic. So you really have this nice, close, intimate, I think, DI sound, and you can quite easily shape it with a little bit of reverb. So that's that. That's RJ's Guitar, free on Piano Book. Labs is where things get a little bit more interesting. There's lots of different patches. The plucked, I believe, aren't just mutes; they're actual longs. Let's start with a lead. This is an 80s lead. That's your 80s guitar right there. There you go, 80s lead, 80s pad. Just a stretched out attack there. So you do have to decay and release here, which is what I really wanted from the other ones. It sounds a lot less rustic, but this is a professional one, while the other one was just, you know, a Joe blog like you and me, creating a sample library. You can tell it's a little bit more professional, but it's a bit more niche, not really bread and butter, this. Indie plucks. It's a bit of a thin sound. Let's see if we're good. There we go. Still a little bit thin for me. Let's see what else we have. Neck. I guess it is because it is the bridge. Of course, an extended range with the Labs one. And what else? Rhythm. So this is where it gets interesting. You press a note. You press a note and it plays a rhythm for you. So it's a little bit of a cheat there. Easy going, and there's different versions of that. 'Cause now we're moving on to, that was indie, made at 80s in the beginning. Now moving on to a pop. I guess this is more of your classic electric guitar. That would you probably use. Nice bit of grit on the sample, actually. Nice. I actually really like that pop one. I think it's rhythms after that. And again. There you go. You get more rhythms in that specific sort of sound. Rock. A lot of these I'm finding a bit thin for me, whereas the RJ Guitar, I just flick back to that. I really like. I really like the depth of that guitar, while these I just feel are quite thin. Rock rhythms. feel a bit dampened. And I think that's everything from that one. There you have it. You have those nice, interesting rhythms. You've got some plucks, no mutes, but worth downloading, worth playing with if that's the sound you're looking for. There you go. It's right there. Go no further. But I think RJ's Guitar is winning it for me at the moment. Now, moving on, we have the Logic Zone we're going to talk about. Now, with the clean guitar loaded up, it's not the most exciting thing to look at there. You do have some fun down here, some gain, tone, reverb, chorus, and delay. We'll look at the rock one as well, and maybe see if there's any other guitars we want to look at. But let's have a play with the clean and see what we get. It's just a bit like Labs. It's just a bit tight for me. Like it's just such a narrow. I want more from it, more tone. It's lacking for me. It's just I'm missing that wholeness. I don't know how to put it to words. Let's listen to another one though. I'm getting like 2000 rock bands from here. I'm also getting like no velocity sensitivity to this. Bit of a flange. I don't think we need any more. Ooh. I sound like I'm in some sort of like tunnel. I don't like any of these. Classic acoustic guitar. We're not going for acoustics. Root rock. I think definitely my favorite so far has been RJS Guitar with a bit of reverb. That hit the sweet spot. But now we're going to move into the paid ones. Vintage electric guitar. This is one by Sign Player. As I said, probably 20-ish euros. I'll put something on the screen probably. If not, it's in the description and you can find it quite quickly. It's the vintage electric guitar. Again, even at the beginning, I said I just want more from this. But we do have our mic positions. I do like the side one. We'll put maybe a different couple of mixes, but we just want to really compare. Really, we don't want to get too much into this one. You can see we have a nice dynamic range. We're getting that nice vibrato, which we found actually on RJ's guitar. That nice bit of vibrato there. If we move quickly back, just have a look at this one and just hit a note. So the harder you hit, the more you get that little bit of flange, vibrato. But you're seeing the same thing here. And Yes, you're getting all the other bits and bobs here as well. You get the palm mute. And we have the envelope, which is nice, but this is paid and the other one was free. Open strings, dead notes. We also have, there's a feedback patch and some dead notes on RJs. I wasn't the biggest fan of them. They didn't really do much. Because if you look here, you do have feedback, but it's not. It's very quiet. And then the palm mute playing noise. The plucky-ish sounds you get. Very quiet though. Let's put that back on all strings. There we go. See, that feels nice and full. Mutes. Lacking. Now, where this all turns around, I love how full this one is, but how does it compare with RJS's Guitar, which at the moment is 100% the winning sample of the week? A lot more fuller sound, more distorted. If we stick just the DI on, because I know this is an amped mic, we've got room on as well, which provides a little bit of reverb. There you go, that's this one. You do also have power chords, muted plucks, which I actually really like. I do love those. Those are fun to play with. Muted power chords. Brush nuts. Up at the top. Chords. Similar to the Labs one, but not rhythmic. Harmonics. I notice a lot with free stuff is you'll either have bread and butter, like RJS's Guitar, or you'll have something more paddy. If you're fortunate, you'll get both. But generally, I know with the paid stuff, you get a lot more, and you can see with Spitfires here, I know there's a bunch of other guitars as well in this patch, and it is more of an ambient guitar library, so the aim is slightly different. It's not really, I don't know if it's meant to be your bread and butter sort of playable instrument, but I guess it is because a lot of the library really is more that. This is more just the instruments itself. It's definitely an interesting selection. There's one more guitar I want to talk about that I didn't bring up at the beginning. It's the Scarby, pronounced wrong, Rickabaga bass. I'm pronouncing it probably terribly. And I actually really like this one. This is probably the fullest one and the richest one out of all of them. This one's paid again. But as I said, just a comparison from free to paid, what's the differences, and overall, what's better. This is what I mean when I say I just want that in your face, that rich, that full sort of sound. This is what I mean by rich. And this is a bass, but I do actually sometimes use this, especially in the upper, as a guitar, as a normal guitar, I guess, just because of that richness that's lacking. But overall, 100% RJ's Guitar is the winner here. I love the variety, the mix of the vibrato and the actual nice sound. It's got a really nice mix, and especially when we stuck that reverb on. And I love the control and the velocity sensitivity of this as well. I feel it really is a bread and butter sort of sample. And you have a lot of control. And yes, there's little bits I would personally tweak. As I said, it would be nice to have to be able to extend that release, but it's free. Some guy did this, or woman, or them did this and made this, and hey, hats off to them. Check them out on Sample Library. I believe the guy's name is Risto Cipolla. I am pronouncing it wrong, and I'm just going to drag this on the screen so you can actually see it. This guy or person. To create a playable and expressive instrument, and I really feel they did that. So lots to do, lots to play. He even did a nice little video actually. So check him out. This is 100% my sample of the week, even compared to some of those paid ones. It's your bread and butter. And so if you want an electric guitar, this is what I'd recommend, even over Logic's own, if I'm honest. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for all the support, especially if you made it this far. Really, it means a lot. Thanks for watching my videos. If there's anything you specifically want me to look at, any samples, any questions about anything really, especially within music, creation of music, samples, Logic, or even just making, I guess, YouTube videos, let me know in the comments, and I'll either write a reply or make a video about it. But again, thank you so much, and I will see you in the next video.